everybody. This is my 2012 Ducati Monster 1100 EVO. She's pretty sweet. The Leo Vinci exhaust. Pretty much stock, besides that. It's got a tail tidy, bar end mirrors. Just changed all the fluids on it. It's got 4,000 miles. Pretty freaking happy with it. It's a torque monster. It's got Brembo brakes in the front. This model, they had the ABS and the traction control, had like 4 different sensitivity settings for the traction control. And the ABS, it works awesome. It works great. Here in Florida, it freaking rains. And I do feel when the ABS kicks in, it works great. The traction control, I have not turned it on yet, so we'll see. Dunlop Q3s. It's a badass tire. I just did a burnout on them, but they're pretty awesome. It's red with the white stripe. I think these are pretty sweet because they're air-cooled, 1100 cc's. It's a L, we call it an L twin. Basically, one cylinder's here, and one cylinder's there, and then in the center here is the intake. Now, this motor uses a belt, and it's 2 valves, one for intake, one for exhaust in each cylinder head. So, wet clutch on this model, factory. Other than that, it's pretty fun to ride. Let's go for a test drive. Oh yeah. She sounds good. I'm gonna try and angle the video camera downwards. It's kind of funny, like I used to have a 09 CBR 600 double R and had a DRZ 400 Supermoto and also a few dirt bikes and stuff. And when I run the GoPro, I end up finding out that how low the handlebars and the windscreen sits in the seating position, that I have to angle my GoPro downwards just so you can see the cluster and stuff. See what's going on. This is a 2012. I really like it. I bought this because honestly it was a freaking smoking good deal, and I'm pretty new to motorcycles. It's been about 6 months now. I started out on dirt bikes. So I try to go into work on my DRZ, and above 60 miles an hour, it just sucks. It freaking sucks. You need something that'll actually get up to speed, and this does it pretty well. My CBR, just the seating position was so committed. I mean, it was rewarding when you took turns, and it definitely was going to get me to jail as fast as I can. Sorry, these bumps are shit on my ass. And one day someone offered me something that I couldn't refuse, some more cash than I paid for it. And I wasn't really in love with the bike. It was freaking smooth, and it got like 50 miles per gallon, but anyways, this bike, from a standpoint of, I'm not biased at all when it comes to motorcycles. Like, I don't have my favorite motorcycle yet. I mean, I'm so new to it. This one really appealed to me. I love the way this looks. I remember looking at these years ago before I ever even thought about getting on a motorcycle, and I was like, wow, that's a fucking sexy bike. I had no idea what they even sounded like, but I just love the way they looked. Yeah, so this bike, I mean, it's kind of funny. I call it the Italian Harley because it is not smooth. Like, my last bike was the 09 CBR 600 RR, and that thing was like glass. Like, that shit was so smooth. But this bike, man, it just, anything under $3,000, it's just like, I'm gonna shake the living shit out of you. What I can describe it as is the piston feels like it's slapping against the handlebars. I'll give you a demonstration. So let me get it under 3. Let me go under 3,000 RPM here. Or I'm gonna give it half throttle. So I do own this bike. I'm not paid by Ducati, and I'm not paid by anybody. I'm just making a video because when I went to go buy this bike, I was trying to find some videos on this, you know, anything like burnouts or wheelies or just flybys, anything. And there was hardly anything. If it was anything, it was on a freaking cell phone video, like a potato video camera. Now I looked up on the forum, and I heard that if you do 1-2 down on the front sprocket, it runs tons smoother. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. So I'm gonna order the sprocket, and we're gonna do an after video, before and after video of So back to it. I would say I'm sitting quarter tucks. Like on the CBR, it was 3/4 tuck, and you know, it felt comfortable to full tuck. So this is definitely like quarter tuck. It's comfortable. I'm 5'9", and I fit perfect on this bike. It's like a fucking glove. I've ridden this bike already for 2 hours straight. Not straight, but you know, got to go to the gas station, put some gas in it, ride it again. Like, I don't feel any bit of strain. I even rode this to work, and then after a 9-hour workday, I'd hop on this to ride home, and it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt me at all. This thing is basically, once you get it moving 5 miles an hour, you let the clutch out, and it's got the balls right away to get to 40, 50 miles an hour. So around town, it's freaking perfect. This engine is fucking, it sounds just like a Harley. Like, until you get like way up in RPMs where you can start really hearing the firing order and the pulses and shit, you can't even tell. Like, yeah, so when I first bought this, I went to go check it out, and you know, I was private sale off Craigslist, and the guy was totally chill. He was ex-military, and I hopped on the bike, and I didn't start. I just kind of felt it around and see how it feels ergonomically. And right away, I noticed back brake. Like, it went so far before any wall or pressure was felt. I knew something was up there with the back brake when I bought it. I was a little worried, but it still stopped, and it kind of felt mushy. Like, it just had no wall. Like, just push. So, and when I first bought it, the brake fluid was freaking dark. Like, I mean, it looked like freaking like motor oil. I mean, it didn't have the consistency of motor oil, just the collection, the color. So I changed the clutch fluid, front and rear brake fluid. When I went to go bleed the rear caliper, you know, I had no idea that the rear caliper, the bleed screw is on the bottom. Now I'm thinking, whoever owned this before, or whoever previously owned it before him, when they went to go bleed the rear brake, they bled it straight on the bike, which I think some air found its way into the caliper, and then that's where the pedal got mushy. Because after I bled it, I used a vacuum bleeder, and I removed the caliper, I flipped it upside down because the bleed screw's on the bottom, and you need the bleed screw on the top in order to let the air out of the caliper, if there is any air in it. And it fixed it right away. I mean, so I'm pretty happy about that. I'm glad I didn't need a caliper or a master cylinder. Or kind of go over the buttons here. It's got a mode button here. I think if you press down, it goes through, yeah, the trip, the time, which I need to set. I haven't set that yet. And that's the actual total mileage. And then if you go up, you can go through the settings. So it's got battery, voltage, RPM. You can set the lights. There's lap times, lap memory. I don't know what that is. There's ABS disabled, TTC off. And there is a little heat on this bike from, like, I feel it on my inner thigh, around my calf area. You feel the heat when you're stopped at a stoplight. I mean, most bikes are like that, but you know, this one's air cooled, it's an exception. It's still oil cooled, so it's not like too inefficient or anything. I haven't gotten this bike hot enough yet, and I live in Florida, so. Go off this side road here, this is a lot of fun. Second gear, by the way. Y'all are wondering. I only like to go like maybe 50% on the street because it's too much. It's too dangerous. Does a wheelie. It's not that easy, actually. I expected it to be like first, second, third. You just give it a handful of throttle and it'll do its thing. But honestly, in second, I can't even get the throttle to bring it up. It sounds hilarious, so I know I can't get it up. I get it. Yeah, first gear, it'll definitely do first gear. Second gear, you have to clutch it. So I'm kind of excited if I get this 14-tooth sprocket, if I can just give it a handful of throttle second and it comes up really smooth. Because first gear, it gets jerky. It's really twitchy. I've done a few first gears and 1 out of every 5 I smack my balls on because it's too jerky. I'll get off the throttle and the bike will just slam down.